Belong to our three pack. We live in the age of technology and so many variety of ways to communicate with our clients. And it's easy for us, depending on what generation we are a member of or how we prefer to communicate. We just assume that everybody wants to communicate the same way. And when we are selling real estate, we serve our clients, and it's important to really identify their preference of communication. So the first point this morning is when you are working with a client and or even a prospect, you meet somebody at an open house, you meet somebody at your kids' ball games, regardless of who they are in your sphere of influence or who they are during the process of a transaction, it's important to find out, which communication method do they prefer, because again, depending on the generation that they're part of, a lot of people prefer phones. They like to talk on the phone. They're going to call you. They're going to expect you to call them. Some people just flat out prefer emails. They'd rather communicate via email. And then, of course, some people just prefer to communicate, via text. Because if you're dealing with someone that just wants to talk on the phone and that's how they want to communicate, and you just continue to text them back and forth with updates, that's going to be bothersome to them, and they're going to feel like that you're not listening to them. They're going to feel like you're being lazy. They might feel like that you're trying to avoid difficult conversations and so forth. So what I always like to do, especially when I meet with somebody or especially when we're beginning to do a transaction, I simply ask them, which way would you prefer to communicate with? Would you prefer me to call you? Would you prefer me to email you? Would you prefer me to text? And I actually will, make notes inside your transaction desk of how that person likes to be communicated with, so that when you're moving forward and you're keeping them updates on transactions, or just keeping them updated on the market, and they may not be ready to buy or sell right now, but you want to stay in communication with them, definitely pay attention to this. Take the time to have a conversation with them and so forth. And again, you might have some people that it just doesn't matter. They like to communicate all ways. It's tough when somebody prefers email, because then you got to obviously ensure that your emails are not going into junk and not getting buried. But definitely pay attention to it. Second creative way to communicate with people is, and I love doing this, though I don't prefer people to communicate with me this way. So, it's kind of a little bit of hypocrisy, but social media is a fantastic way to communicate with people, whether, again, you meet them at an open house or they're 6 months down the line. Obviously, most of our consumers spend a great deal of time on social media. So you can spend a little bit of time. You could even ask them, what's your favorite form of social media, or search for them on, all the candidates, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm looking for social media platforms that offer an instant messaging platform where I can directly communicate with them and I can directly send them messages. Because, especially on Facebook, if you send somebody a instant message through Facebook, they're going to get an alert. It's almost like a text message. They're going to get an alert on the upper right-hand corner letting them know that they do have a message. Because we are addicted to social media, we pretty much read everything that comes through these instant messaging platforms. It's a great way just to check in with people, see how things are going. People that you've kind of lost track, or people that have gone dark on you, or we like to use the term ghosting you. Social media is a great way to communicate with them. And then, because they get those alerts, it's kind of like text messaging. Excuse me, you have a higher chance of engagement. There's a higher chance that they're going to read your message. And the other thing that I like communicating through social media is it shows a level of relevance, because everybody is on social media. And if you're messaging people through social media, it does show again, a high level of relevance because you are on social media. And we always say, back in the old days, when we were marketing real estate or marketing operating any company, the three most important things to keep in mind when you're building a business is location, location, location. Well, things have changed for us because everybody's on the internet, because everybody's on social media. These are some of the primary locations in which you're going to find your consumers. And then the third way, and one of the things that we do spend a great deal of time on training and doing at the Recon Group, is I absolutely love video text. If you attend any of Keith Flynn's classes, we'll talk. He talks a lot about the importance of videos and using videos on social media. That Facebook and Instagram are placing a high importance on videos. The reason for this is because studies suggest that consumers love to consume videos. They like to receive a lot of their information through video. So what we do on our end is we do it through text messages as well. So don't be hesitant to pick up your phone. I'm constantly doing this with either clients, past clients, or prospects, and shooting 30 to second videos on my phone, and then I just send it to them via text message. I find a very high engagement. I am finding that the people that I'm shooting these video text messages to enjoy them. They get into them. They watch them. It's very, very important to not make them long, because if you send a 3 to 4 minute video text to somebody, I can pretty much guarantee you the next one that you send will not be opened and will not be watched, because you've set the stage that you are long-winded and you like to send long videos. I will watch a video. I have a very, very short attention span. A lot of times when people send me videos, I take a look at the duration. And if it's a long one, it is not going to be watched. But if it's a short one, I'll be more apt to open it up and listen and watch. But some of the things that I send these video text messages for, love to just check in with people. I love it when you're driving down the road and you think of a client. You're like, oh man, haven't talked to them in a while, or haven't talked to that prospect in a while. I'll just shoot a video text. Hey, this is Mike from the Recon Group. Just want to check in, see how things are going. Yada yada yada. How's the house? How was the move? And so forth. We also use these for transaction updates, just to mix things up. Hey, just want to let you know where we're at in the transaction. Want to let you know that the appraisal has just come in, and it got great news that it met value. I would never use a video text, though, to deliver bad news. It's always just checking in or good news. And what's next? Hey, this is Mike. We're shoot a video. We're getting ready to do the home inspection on Tuesday at with a 4:30 review. These are the things that you can expect when we get there. Hey, next week we're gonna sit down at the closing table. These are the things that we need to do, or an update. Make sure, or what's next. Make sure you got the utilities on. And then market updates. We have on our end have a very, very high engagement rate of market updates. We started this when COVID hit, when there was a lot of just concern and people were unsure about the market. My partner Ryan and I would just sit down and every once in a while shoot a couple. This one would be a couple minutes. But we do a 2-minute market update. This is what's going on in the market. This is where we're headed. This is what we think is going to happen. These are the inventory issues. Anytime there was changes during COVID about lending, we would do a quick market update. And this one we would blast out also through our entire database in our CRM system, because it's something that people are interested in. People are very, very curious about the market. People want to know what's going on in the market, and it's a way that you can be the authority on it. So give this a shot. We have a very, very high success rate anytime we get a new prospect. Through our variety of our lead sources, obviously we want to call them first. If we can't get them on the phone, we're going to text them, and then if we can't get a response via text, by the end of that day, we're gonna send a video message, just putting a face to the name, trying to make it a little bit more personal, and so forth. So those are some tips for communicating. With that being said, we're going to get right